All right, so I've got a big box here from the guys at B&G Guitars. And in this video, we're going to open this thing up and check out the guitar that is inside. So B&G Guitars are a brand that I've known of for such a long time. I've known of this brand for probably going on 10 years, and I've never really actually spent much time with their instruments. And finally, I've got my hands on one, thanks to my buddy Mike over at B&G for hooking me up with this thing. Now, B&G is a guitar brand that's based out of Israel, but this guitar is from their Crossroads line, which is actually an Asian-built line. So they've got their master-built stuff from Israel, which is the super high-end stuff that's sort of $3,000 plus. And then they have the Crossroads line, which is built in Asia, and this is a 1,500 pound instrument. So this is still not a cheap guitar. It's cheaper than the master-built stuff, but this is their more affordable line. At that price, it's still a premium instrument, but it just makes it a little bit more accessible to access the brand. Obviously, if you can't afford to spend £3,000 on a master-built one. So like I said, the brand is new to me as a player. I've not really spent much time with their instruments, but they have been around for quite some time. I first heard about this brand through a good friend of mine, a blues guitar player from Australia called John McNamara. He's an insane player. Go check him out as well. There's some links down below to check his stuff out. But John was a B&G artist for, I believe he still is actually a B&G artist, but he was a B&G artist many years ago when I first met him. And he was the first person that showed me this brand. And yeah, I'm really excited to finally check one out properly for myself. So let's crack the box open. So what I have in this box is a guitar that they call the Little Sister, which is their single cut guitar. It's a semi-hollow single cut, so it's kind of like a cross between like a Les Paul and a 335 kind of build. Now, this guitar actually comes in two different styles. You've got the Little Sister, which is the one I've got, which has a slotted headstock, kind of like those old school classical guitars or even some of the old Martins you might see. And then they have another one called the Stepsister, which has a different neck join. I think this one has the neck join a little bit further up the neck and the Stepsister is a little bit lower down. So it's a bit easier to get high fret access on that one. And that one has a solid headstock as well versus the slotted one. I went with this one because A, I really like the look of a slotted headstock, and B, I don't own a guitar with a slotted headstock, so I thought that would be a nice addition. So through the first layer. So the guitar comes in a nice, really nice actually, padded gig bag. So we've got a packing slip there, just confirming the instrument that's inside. Allen keys for adjustments. Yeah, this is a really nice gig bag. It's nicely padded, so obviously if you're going to be taking this out to do some shows, it's a pretty solid gig bag. I probably wouldn't put this in the hold of a plane, given that this is a semi-hollow guitar. But if you're taking the guitar in your car, you know, and you're not going to be dropping amps on it, this gig bag will serve you well. Now, the colour they've sent me is a colour that is called Midnight Ocean, and it's essentially black, but it's a very nice black. So, here it is. It's a very squeaky gig bag because it's very new, but there is the guitar. So, wow, that's incredibly lightweight. So this is the B&G Little Sister. So that colour, Midnight Ocean, like I said, it is just black. It's a really nice glossy black with gold hardware. The one I've chosen actually has a pair of P90s as well. This guitar comes with humbuckers, but there's something about a twin-loaded P90 semi-hollow that I just really, really like. Some of my favourite guitars are semi-hollow and P90 loaded guitars, so this is kind of a nice combination of the two. Yeah, this is very, very lightweight. What's really cool about this is even though it's lightweight, it's got this really nice kind of chunky neck and the body's quite thick, so it feels like a good substantial instrument, but obviously without the weight. And it's not terribly out of tune considering it's this has been shipped to me from the US. So considering it's been with FedEx for the last 2 weeks, thank you FedEx for the huge import tax bill, by the way. This is still relatively in tune, which is kind of a testament to that gig bag as well, because it hasn't been knocked around too much. So let's take a quick look at some specs of this thing. I'm not going to go super in detail, but I'll just show you some of the highlights. So obviously the color, Midnight Ocean, I've shown you already. This has really nice reveal binding, which has quite a nice little wood grain to it. You can't really see it great in the camera there, but when I do the full length demo for this, I will get some nice close-up shots of that. Visually, you can see it's obviously like a Les Paul style, and some of that stuff is kind of reflected in the build. So we have a mahogany back and side, but a maple top. Now this is semi-hollow, so it doesn't weigh the same as a Les Paul, so it's chambered, but we've got a center block in here, which I'm assuming is also going to be mahogany. One cool thing is these F-holes. These are actually the wrong way around, and if you look up B&G, there's some videos online that they talk about this. This was actually an accident. They accidentally cut the F-holes the wrong way on a guitar, and they liked it, so they decided to keep it, and obviously that's kind of become a bit of a thing for the brand. So we've got these reverse F-holes, 3-way switch, volume tone, 2 P90 pickups, which are B&G's own wind. The bridge on this guitar is like a tunematic style bridge with this tailpiece. The tailpiece is zinc alloy, which is gold plated, and the pickup covers are gold plated brass. They use a lot of brass in their really high end stuff, so they've kind of brought some of that flavor to the more affordable Crossroads line as well. We've also got a one-piece mahogany neck on this thing, and the fretboard is a material known as catalox, which is kind of like a variation of ebony. It's from the ebony family. We have a 12-inch fretboard radius, and it's a 24 3/4 inch scale. So again, pretty familiar feeling straight out of the box. With this particular guitar, the body join is at the 14th fret. So the neck heel at full thickness actually kind of extends a little bit further up. We've kind of got the full thickness neck heel there from more or less like the 13th fret. So when you are playing up the neck, obviously it is a little bit chunkier up there than a typical single cut style guitar. That is the thing that's different about the stepsister guitar. That neck join is further along, so you've got a little bit more upper fret access as well. At the top of the neck, we've got a Tusk nut, and I think this has nickel frets as well. They're pretty big on the kind of vintage spec thing, so I think the frets are nickel. And then at the top, my favorite thing, which is the slotted headstock. I really like the way slotted headstocks look, and I've always been a fan of it. I've always wanted an acoustic with a slotted headstock and just never got around to finding the right one, but having an electric with a slotted headstock is pretty cool because you don't really see that often. And then they have these tuners, which are their own in-house made tuners, which are the side-mounted style to go with the slotted headstock. One thing that's really nice as well is the logo is actually a crest that's put on top of the headstock. I think it always just feels quite nice and kind of like a premium feature when brands do that sort of thing as well. But yeah, I mean, out of the box, first impressions are very, very good indeed. I even noticed as well the back plate is also gold as well, which is a nice touch. The gold hardware actually extends to the rear of the instrument, which is something you don't really see that often. But yeah, first impressions are very, very good. I'm looking forward to having lots of fun with this thing, plugging it in, and yeah, really seeing what it can do. So thank you, Mike, and thank you to the guys at B&G for hooking me up with this thing. This is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, you're definitely going to be seeing this in a lot of videos this year, so keep watching. I'm going to be shooting a full-length video all about this guitar very, very soon on the channel, so please check that out when that comes out as well. There are some links down below in the description where you can check out B&G Guitars, and I mentioned my friend John McNamara, who turned me on to this brand first of all, so there's some links to his stuff down below as well. If you're into the blues, please check him out. He's a great guitar player and a great singer. But yeah, keep checking back for the full-length video, and let me know down below in the comments if you've played or have any experience with B&G Guitars yourself. I'd love to hear what your opinions are on this brand. I'm going to go plug this thing in now and start having some fun with it. Thank you guys for watching as always. I'll see you very, very soon.